right? I always feel like in the weekend tournaments a little bit weaker, but here in a tournament like Intel Extreme Katowice, Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, he's going to be a lot stronger. And as we're talking about him, we see in the bottom right spawning as the blue Terran player playing for Team Exxon. It's going to be SpeCial. That must be he can see the logo, right? But it would trigger me if I had always had the Zerg logo. Oh wait, it actually represents all.
There's a Terran logo in the N.
Oh,
and the
I didn't even
Protoss
see
is
that.
the E.
Yeah, wow. And then there's the DNA in the. Well, that's great.
Yes.
It's a nice logo actually. Then.
No, good. Well done.
Well done, Exxon. Big shout out to you guys. And in the top left, not sure how I did that. Top left spawning as the red Terran player, playing for Team Kaisi. Still, it's going to be INnoVation. Just took out his teammate in that last series, and now looks to be going for a 2-Rex Reaper here.
Yeah, with the first Rex at home, second on the other side of the map, so a little bit better sometimes against things like an SCV Scout. Not quite as committed since you still have the barracks at home to continuously produce, but SpeCial is going for a 1 base 2 gas opener, which should end up working out quite nicely for him, I would guess.
Yeah, I think so too. His factory is going to be well timed. Usually you get a second Reaper. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a build where you open 2 gas and you don't get a second Reaper, right? That's extremely rare. The only thing that could happen is if he gets caught out with either his first or with his first 2 Reapers. It can be a little bit awkward if you lose like a Reaper in a 3 versus 2 fight, but I honestly kind of like this opener here for SpeCial. Decided not to scout, which I don't think even matters too much, right?
I mean, he wouldn't see anything anyways. He would see the barracks and the wall and then the second depot.
2 depots. Nice. Time to go back home. The only thing he would know is that it wouldn't be 1 Rex expand. Now, he moves out a little bit with his Reaper and immediately goes back up. So he's not really too keen on going anywhere. It feels like he's almost expecting this, right?
No, I think this is what you always do. Just in case there is a proxy, even a proxy 2 Rex Reaper, you can't be out on the map. I think you just scout a little bit if there's a super close barracks. And if not, you want to not be caught off guard. You were mentioning the 3 versus 2 Reapers that we might see here a little bit later on. But if it's 2 Rex Reaper, you definitely don't want to lose your 1 Reaper against the 2. And now, yeah, he already has 2 Reapers out. INnoVation sees it. Obviously, is already floating back the barracks. He does have a 3rd Reaper now, but at that point, if that arrives, there's already a Hellion out. This is also not the most committed opener ever. Like, it's, as I said before, with the 2 Rex Reaper, you usually skip SCVs, stuff like that to make that happen. In this scenario, he still has the CC at the same time. The disadvantage is mainly the factory timing.
And that's a pretty big disadvantage, or at least it can potentially be a big disadvantage depending on what SpeCial decides to follow up with. For now, he's going to be going into a triple Reaper, double Hellion, keeping both Hellions at home. So this is really just a safety play, right? He's not committed to doing anything here. He's just checking, hey, is your barrack still producing Reapers? Which is possible in a very odd case. Sometimes people go up to 5 Reapers and they hide it a little bit. They go in a bit later and they hope that they can catch you moving out and jump in with a bunch of Reapers. So SpeCial, he has very little information on the other side of the map, but he knows what he's been playing against and he kind of knows what to expect at this point as well, right? He's aware of what the potential factory timings and starport timings are going to be. So yeah, overall, very good start for SpeCial.
Now, INnoVation did go for an earlier 3rd CC, and this build order, it kind of transitions into something similar to what we saw last game from Time, where he's going to be the player that has an earlier stim. He won't have as many Ravens, and he won't have as many tanks, but also a higher Marine count than SpeCial. So he's going to try to defend any timing push that way. But we saw that already going wrong in the last series, so wouldn't be too surprised if we see a similar push again here from SpeCial, since he knows what he's up against. He also went into... oh no, he started a Banshee and then cancelled it, I think, and then made a Raven. Yeah. So...
yeah, it of course makes some sense that you... as I hold my sentence for a second there. A little bit of an engagement. SpeCial kind of does like a check. Hey, do you have a bunker there? What do you have at home? He sees the Reapers at home, but didn't see much else. What I was going to say is that, of course, if you have that second barracks already from your proxy, you might as well use it, incorporate it in some type of build order. So it, of course, makes some sense that we're seeing this out of INnoVation, but does need to be careful because the moment SpeCial gets the siege up, And with these ravens and these turrets, it's going to be really difficult to break. Okay, thanks a tank shot. And we'll be aware now that there is at least a tank out. Cyclone, for a second I was going to say is getting caught out, but I guess 3 Reapers not quite enough. And INnoVation is the one that actually loses something there in that single Reaper.
And it's also really cool to see that SpeCial does take the map control with the 2 Cyclones, whereas INnoVation obviously doesn't have a Cyclone of his own, so now he's going to try to sneak around with the Reapers, and he will try to scout SpeCial, who, by the way, went for a triple Raven opener, so he can either try to use this offensively. Very often the turns do just sit back with this, but since he's producing so many units, also from the barracks with the reactor, he's probably going to go for some sort of move out. Yeah, the Reapers get caught.
Good control there out of SpeCial in that 3 versus 2 situation. Made sure he didn't lose that 1 extra Reaper. And now, do you think he's going to harass with 1 Raven and then push with the others? Or what's the play here?
I'm not entirely sure that he's going to push at all, to be honest, since he did go for the triple Raven. So this might be very, very late if he would decide to go for it. Instead, I think he might just play very defensive, but we'll see for now what the Raven does. As it's going into the natural of INnoVation, he drops 1 auto turret. He still has energy for 2 more. So at the same time, in the main base, 3 Reapers come in, kill 2 SCVs that were producing, and now get caught a little bit by a tank. He could have avoided losing his Reapers there.
Yeah, still get some damage done here, and I think he might have been busy with the Raven in the natural, as that turret is... That Raven has how many kills? 10 kills on this Raven right now. Now, of course, it's not that the Raven actually did it, it's the turrets that did it for him, but as the turrets disappear, the kill counter is on the Raven. That's a big deal.
Yeah, 12 SCV kills at this stage in the game will bring SpeCial in a quite comfortable worker advantage, and he's actually playing mech here, by the way. So he's going for the double army, he already has the 3 factories done, so a very different game to what we saw so far from the TVTs in this tournament. I think that's the first time at least that I've seen mech.
Same. Yeah, the triple Raven into Vikings right now. It's actually really, really cool. And the thing here that is going to be hard for INnoVation is that the moment he tries to push into this, there will just be a lot of tanks ready. There's going to be turrets ready. He will never get air superiority because he needs to be building medevacs while SpeCial can just be pumping Vikings from... oh my god, does he get that? I thought he got a tank there for a second.
I think he could have, but INnoVation is zoned quite well with the Marines. I think SpeCial thought he had it and went back a little bit too soon, to be honest. Now I don't think INnoVation can do much here, and now he will realize that it is in fact mech, and he didn't know beforehand. Oh, he did actually. Okay, he does have 2 barracks on the tech labs. I'm not sure when he scouted it or if he just knew from the way that SpeCial has been playing, but he knows, and yeah, there is nothing he can do at the very least until SpeCial starts expanding again because of the tank count that SpeCial is working with.
Yeah, and of course with the scouting barracks there, kind of functioning as a massive observer that isn't invisible but has a lot of HP instead, it's going to be difficult for INnoVation to attempt any drop, and also extremely dangerous. There is a good Raven count out, or sorry, a Viking count out already. There's a good Raven count, so even if he does end up getting in, like 12 auto turrets will say hello. A bit of a Hellion run by at the 3rd base, but it's not going to change the outcome of the game, that one, as it just gets cleaned up, and SpeCial will have to go lick his wounds back at home. For GC, it's about to finish up. I honestly don't even think that on a map like Death Aura, INnoVation is going to try anything here on the left side.
Yeah, but he did actually opt to go for 3 extra barracks, so he does want to stay on this biostyle for quite a bit. You can also try to transition into air a little bit earlier, obviously trying to out-expand the mech player, and then with additional gas income already go into the air upgrades. Very often we even see bio players opt to go for a relatively early 2nd armory just to have those air upgrades ready, which we already see INnoVation is working on, by the way. So cool to see that he wants to make something happen with the bio for sure, but especially with this nice setup who's approaching maxed out supply, it's hard to see what he's gonna make happen. And yeah, now INnoVation goes for the 2 extra sappers and the fleet beacon himself.
Yeah, maybe the extra barracks are also a little bit of a safety for him, more so than, hey, I want to be aggressive, right? Because he was a little bit behind. He might be afraid of like a max push out coming out of SpeCial. Now, I have to be honest here, Lambo. my mech versus bio knowledge in TVT is a little bit mediocre. So how do we normally see these games play out? Just a lot of defensive play out of the mech player, or do we see move outs? What are we expecting usually?
Well, we're seeing a move out right now, but usually the way it goes, it's that is very hard for the mech player to move out, and the dire player can do what he's doing right now, force him to siege up. But the army that INnoVation is working with is so small that SpeCial is just straight up chasing it back. And I think if SpeCial actually manages to get towards the other side of the map without being slowed down at all, he has great chances at dealing damage to INnoVation, who does not have the Viking count and the Liberator count up that is necessary to deal with this yet, especially since there are 3 almost full energy Ravens as well.
Yeah, there's only 3 tanks. 2 tanks in total here, and one of them is already Interference Matrix. SpeCial's just pushing forward. He also killed 13 workers somehow. I'm not sure how he did it. There's so many tanks here. I mean, what in the world is INnoVation going to be doing against that? Apparently not very much. I think this third base is gone.
Yeah, he needs to retreat until he has the Viking superiority in the air, and then dislodge the attack with Liberators. But he just lost the Viking fight, even though he had more. The Ravens completely destroyed the air army of INnoVation, and now that he doesn't even have that going for himself, the Liberators are gonna be mostly useless, and I think that's game, honestly.
Yeah. If INnoVation needs to wait till he has the Viking superiority here, he's going to be waiting for a very long time. These Hellions on the right side are going to find a bunch of SCVs as well. 11 workers go down, nicely stacked up there for SpeCial to just kind of one-shot it with those 3 Hellions. Now, it's not being microed, but I completely understand that that's not the primary concern here for SpeCial. His primary concern is breaking into the natural, and he's doing a fantastic job at that. GG gets called as INnoVation just doesn't see a way to hold, and I kind of agree with that call, Lambo.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice game by SpeCial. I think he had a slight build order advantage, and we talked about it, but it's not like he was very far ahead up until the moment where the Raven went in and got 12 kills and the Reaper got 2 extra kills. So killing 14 SCVs when both players are even at that point obviously is a very big deal, and he just played it safe and solidly with that push. Had a really good army composition, a well-rounded army, and yeah, basically moved across the map and just killed him.
Yeah, definitely. Very impressive game there out of SpeCial. It's one thing to get ahead against INnoVation. It's a second thing to actually leverage that advantage into a win, and he definitely managed to do that there with mech out of all things as well. Now, that are, of course, a map where it's easier to defend, right? You have very easy access to 4 bases, and usually the weakness of mech is the fact that you need to spread yourself rather thin. If we think of Pillars of Gold, are we expecting a repeat here with the style? Perhaps not with the build order, but do you think mech is a possibility?
I think it's definitely a worse map for mech, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he pulls it out. I definitely do believe that he's gonna go bio this game, but if he thinks he has something cool that works, SpeCial will just go for it, no matter the map. I remember a SpeCial playing in BlizzCon and using a 5.8k Terrence mech all-in of 2 base to beat I don't know who it was, but he definitely advanced.
TY, I think.
Yeah, TY, yeah, maybe even TY. So yeah, he definitely for these prepared tournaments, as you said earlier as well, he's very smart and he makes it happen. Sometimes even against players that are objectively speaking a little bit better than him. Sometimes, like if you look at stuff like MMR, as you said, maybe like weekend tournament performances, but he makes up for it with great preparation.
Yeah, his preparation is absolutely crazy usually, and I mean he's no slouch either in a more straight up game. But yeah, these tournaments are really where he shines. He's good at analyzing games, and I actually think TVT is a matchup that really lends itself as well for preparation, more so even than, for example, TVZ, where I'm sure you can have cool build orders, but very often the game kind of stretches out over a longer time still. It can be tricky to finish people. And in TVT, as there is so many build orders and people all have tendencies, if you have a very strong analytical mind like SpeCial has, that can be a big advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, INnoVation also is someone that's very smart, but especially if you think you are very good and maybe you even consider yourself better than your opponent, you might be the one that just plays more standard, more straight up, not specifically preparing for his opponent, even though I'm sure he has the series planned out as well, but maybe a little bit less less of a matchup specific, or not matchup, player specific.
Yeah, and also I kind of get what you're getting at. Like your preparation is perhaps going to be more on the defensive side as well, rather than so much as really looking into holes, but more patching your own holes as you feel you're better. And as long as you do get into that longer game, you feel like you might just be fine. But for now, as we head into map number 2. I'm not sure if I'm the only one here, but
No, this is definitely a lag. I'm not sure who it is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's just.
I'm pretty sure we all saw that.
Yeah, we all did see that. I hope it wasn't me.
I also hope it wasn't me. I do have my ping open, and
200.
it still is counting up. Yeah, it still is counting up. So that's what it does at the start of the game every time.
Yeah, we should be good. We're fine, guys. The C stream once again is not the issue here. Oh wow. Okay, but definitely someone is the issue.
This looks very.
I've never seen this before. We're about to see who it is.
I can't wait to see that it's me.
That would be exciting. Navi Slavic.
Game paused.
Can't we just tell him to leave? Okay.
No, we should remake, because what if he wants to send his first SCV across? Yeah.
Oh well.
I agree. I think if the first 6 seconds, I'd want to remake. Definitely. But yeah, we'll just.
Okay, I mean it's the referee. It's the referee's decision, obviously.
Yeah. Referees. I threw it back to us. Oh, here we go. SpeCial also agrees. Man, this is exciting.
Game resumed.
Okay.
That
was a very weird lag. That was not just a straight up lag. It was like a stuttering.
Yeah, I've never seen this before, especially because it took so long for the
screen to show up.
Yeah, the screen to pop up. It's like he was like unplugging very fast, just enough internet to not get the screen, but not enough internet for the game to continue. It looked extremely funny. I was in the middle of a sentence. I was about to say something revolutionary, but I can't quite remember now. I'll have to watch the VOD in the break and then come back to it at some point. But for now, in the top right spawning as the red Terran player, playing for Team Kaizi, it's going to be INnoVation.
And his opponent in the bottom left upper map in this series, playing for Team Axon, it's SpeCial.
Nice. All right. Double gas once again for both players. As we've seen this scenario before in INnoVation versus Time Ride in the second game. We saw that happen as well. Now here we are. SpeCial's already putting his barracks off position. What do you think that's for?
Well, so he doesn't need to float it for the reactor. Obviously, I think he just doesn't care that much if the SV gets in. I suppose that's the reason.
Yeah, that's mainly what I was concerned for. I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be some reactor first, but I've never seen that in my life.
No, I think just later on, if you make the reactor, so that you have it slightly earlier, because obviously the barracks floating is not the fastest.
All right. Factory going to be going down for both players most likely. Yep, there we go. I'd be extremely surprised if they open 2 gas and then add a second rack. So like, here we go. INnoVation pulling out of gas already. SpeCial keeps 1 extra into gas, of course, because he doesn't do the SCV scout. So slight economical lead here for SpeCial, and that's going to translate to maybe 30-40 gas ahead of his opponent. INnoVation is going to send his first Reaper into the bushes, and is kind of ambushing his opponent there, just waiting for it to show up. Now he's getting afraid. It's like, wait, what if he sends his across to my natural? And I won't be there in time. Yeah, we'll be there in time.
He will be there in time indeed, since both players are just mirroring each other for now. As you said, it's very nice if you can look at the bottom right now that you see there is this gas lead, SpeCial already having started a tech lab actually on the barracks. So might be, I guess, for an early cyclone.
Early cyclone, and then what as a follow-up? We're not seeing a starport yet. It's gonna go down now.
Well, maybe something like a double Cyclone Banshee opener, I could see. So if we were seeing a second tech lab, that would be the case.
Like a single Banshee, no cloak, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very possible. In theory, could also still be a double Cyclone drop, and although it has lost a bit in popularity.
Yeah, there also is a second tech lab on the way, so...
Yeah, it's most likely going to be that cloak. What are we seeing on the other side here? Cyclone starting, Reactor instead of a tech lab, and that starboard is absolutely hugging that tech lab already. It's eyeing it, Lambo. It's ready to make a move. I've seen this before. It's gonna go in there real fast. That's right. It's gonna. Oh yeah, it's just going to be a single Cyclone here, and you were right. It's going to be that Banshee with double Cyclone. And does he push out with the Cyclones to try and fake it and fly the Banshee into the main base, or what's the play there?
Yes, I think that's how you execute it in general. You want to just take map control with double Cyclone no matter what you're doing. So it's not too obvious as well that there is going to be the Banshee on the front. And if your opponent is going for an opener the way INnoVation is doing it right now, he might not have too many tanks already in position. So maybe you force a Cyclone to the front, something like that. But in general, what INnoVation is doing should be very safe against SpeCial's opener. He just needs to make sure that he has the Cyclone in the correct location, and SpeCial is actually going towards the back of the natural, so I think that's probably good if INnoVation stays positioned the way he is right now.
INnoVation is gonna take one shot at this Mew and it's like, no, this is too scary. I know there's a Hellion somewhere there. SpeCial did a good job, by the way, ensuring that that Banshee wouldn't get spotted by the Hellion. That was a nice little move there with his own Hellion. Now he's gonna jump in with the 2 Reapers. Oh, this is a good timing. If he waits for 3 more seconds, that would be better, but this is still fine as well. He's gonna be able to get 2-3 workers. And he decides to poke out, I guess. Yes, this is absolutely perfect. Now, the Reapers are gonna go in here. We see nothing in the main base. These Reapers can definitely get some damage. Oh, SpeCial barely manages to escape with that Banshee. As the Cyclone has the pound sand there, and we're pretty upset about it. 1, 2... Yeah, I think he only got 2 workers, right, with the Reaper?
Yeah, he misclicked there at the very end. He could have been one more, but the Banshee is in a safe location, even though Cyclone lock on. The range of a Cyclone once it's locked on is very far. The lock-on range itself is not. So SpeCial is now trying to escort the Banshee out of that corner of the map with the 2 Cyclones, making sure that it is there. Now, the one thing that's not that great for SpeCial is that he doesn't have map control. He doesn't have anything that can warn him for a possible army move out from INnoVation, which is what is happening right now. And INnoVation, that one Marine should spot that Banshee.
Yeah, gets the spots the Banshee at least. Banshee gets another kill. These Cyclones are ballsy. The Cyclones are not afraid. Is looking for, of course, INnoVation's own Cyclones. Gonna catch that tank. If he gets a tank for free, that's kind of a big deal here with this push.
Yeah, that's a very big deal, and he even still has the Cyclones behind the army, and now he can cancel the third base if he wants to. Now he really needs to make sure that his tanks are in position in his own natural. INnoVation is just running up together with the auto turrets. Oh no, SpeCial uses energy to disable the Ravens after the auto turrets were already dropped. That's the worst case scenario for him, and now he immediately pulls the workers to defend. So he's taking a lot of economic damage.
Yeah, this is really, really bad. After his powerful start, now the Cyclones come in, don't even properly get the lock-on on that tank. It's going to die, but at the cost of 2 Cyclones, what is there left for SpeCial? And the answer is 1-1-1. 1 unit from every structure, a single Marine, a single tank, and there was a Banshee, but it died as well somewhere on INnoVation's side of the map. We see the final SCV pool with 2 turrets come down. What an unfortunate situation with that interference matrix. Just slightly too slow with those interference matrix, and
yeah, that was sad. I think he had everything going for himself. He already had a 3rd CC done. He cancelled the one on the other side. He got a free tank. I think he really needed to just go for the auto turrets. Even if he lost a bunch of SCVs,
yeah.
I still would have preferred his position in this game. And he just was a little bit too slow. You know, the interference matrix itself is a projectile. And the auto turrets, you can throw them from a range. So it was just a little bit too late there.
Yeah, that's it's a painful little loss there for SpeCial. He's not going to be too happy about it, especially after the start that he had, right? Everything was going very, very well. He's definitely a happy camper. But yeah, not going to go into a longer game there, as he lost that rather rapidly. Of course, there's still a 3rd map, and SpeCial fans don't get desperate just yet. If he wins this map, he's just going to be 1-1 in the group. If he loses this map, however, it's starting to look a little bit rough, and we can, we can start to be afraid. Truly, if you're a SpeCial fan, because he still needs to play against Dark.
Yeah, and that's the top 3 then. So the way SpeCial has his matches set up is he played Sarah first and INnoVation second. So if he would win this, he would be 1-1, even though he would be 2-3 in map score. That would still be a very good start, I think, into the group for him.
Yeah, I agree, because it's, if he were to trade places with someone in what you'd kind of see as the usual top 3, that would obviously be good if it'd be INnoVation, right? I think INnoVation is probably the weaker of Dark and Serral as well, weaker than Dark and Serral. So if he takes down INnoVation and Dark and Serral kind of do their job in a way, then it might just be that that SpeCial makes it through like that, and that would be fantastic for him. Map score might come into play in that later as well, so we'll see what happens this time around as we're about to hop straight into Lightshade as our third map here.
Yeah, we saw this map earlier and very, very fast with INnoVation going for a timing. So let's see if he does something similar again, as the map is loaded up and spawning in the top left-hand side. We have the Red Terran player who managed to tie up the series in the last game with a clutch timing attack. It is Kaizi's INnoVation.
And in the bottom right, spawning as the blue Terran player. He kind of needs to win this game to keep a realistic chance of advancing out of this group. It's of course going to be Exxon's SpeCial.
Now, I actually thought about it a little bit, and I don't actually think that INnoVation is that much better than Bunny right now as well. So I believe it's very, very hard to even tell who gets that third spot. I do believe Sarah is the favorite. And obviously, we haven't seen anything from Dyke since that epic run that he had in TSL. But if we go by that, it should be Sarah favorite for first place, Dark favorite for second place. And then all these matches between the Terran players become super important all of a sudden. Like every single match that SpeCial has against the Terrans will be crucial. And you generally will have to win, I feel like, 3 out of 4. All 3 games if you don't manage to take out one of the Zergs. More likely than not.
Definitely agreed. There's one of the things that's really nice if you're Sarah or Dark in this group is that you have to do, really you only need to prepare one matchup, right? In theory, if your goal is to advance.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a little bit different because Sarah sees himself as a championship contender, so he's probably preparing every single matchup.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I understand what you're saying. If you're just playing to advance, theoretically, if you even just win 3 out of the 4 TVZs that you have, it should be fine.
Yeah. Completely agree. And of course, there will have been a little bit more of a focus on TVZ most likely the last few days. As after his group, he still has 2 extra days to kind of shave these other matchups into shape to make sure they are where he needs them to be. We see SpeCial opening up with a 1 barracks expand, and for the third time we see no scout. He's hiding in the bushes, but he's too afraid to stay hiding there and instead goes onto his own high ground. Which is interesting to see. He isn't quite sure exactly what to do with this Reaper, just moving back and forth, doesn't want to lose that Reaper, doesn't even want to get that first shot off, or he doesn't want to let his opponent get that first shot off. He's not getting a bunker downstairs, and there's a single Marine. Let's see what INnoVation decides to do with these 2 Reapers. Sometimes with 2 Reapers and an SCV you can do something. There's no SCV here, but these 2 Reapers, they're definitely going to try to do something. They shouldn't be able to get the low ground, but perhaps you can snipe a Marine with it.
Yeah, and the CC is obviously done, so this is not one of those situations where they can just snipe an SCV and then it becomes very, very hard to retake it. So especially can just ignore the fact that there's 2 Reapers that is natural for a little bit and drop the mule in his main base, the first mule. So not the worst. Obviously, I think he kind of expected to lose the SCV there since 2 Reapers are better than a Reaper and a Marine.
Yeah.
And now INnoVation needs to watch out because there is a Hellion out and a couple of extra Marines. Overall, this is the first game where SpeCial has played it greedy, and I think it's understandable. A very classic mind game. You go for the 2 games in a row, and then the third one you played a little bit more greedy. No scout, 1 Rex expand.
Yeah, it's opening up with a Raven and a Tech Lab now. Doesn't have a third gas yet, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. Usually we see the third gas very, very fast, especially if, you know, with one Rex expand, almost the moment your CC finishes, you kind of want to start that. So I'm curious to see where he's going with this. This is going to allow him to get a very fast third CC, obviously, which is nice, but I'm guessing single Raven into Viking, perhaps, or he's adding the barracks very rapidly.
Yeah, it's either he's gonna swap the barracks with the starport right away after the first Raven, or he's just not gonna produce that for a little bit. But you can go for fast 3 barracks as a mix-up as well. So if you have the early stim, you can try to crush the incoming attacks of the 2-gas player when your stim is done, especially if you can surprise them, and that's what it looks like he's doing.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, 2 extra barracks are being added. Reactor will start on that starport, so it's not going to be a Raven and Viking heavy game. No, it's going to be a Marine heavy game here for SpeCial with that single Raven, single tank initially, second tank is coming out as well, and all of this is kind of accelerating into a mid game, right? He kind of wants to skip the early game here. Ideally, he just jumps forward in time 2 minutes without anything happening. That's going to be an ideal scenario here for SpeCial.
Now, the idea behind what SpeCial is doing is very, very similar to what we saw from Time, and on this same map, INnoVation just went for the Raven tank push, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see at least a move out from INnoVation. Now, the thing especially the great job at denying INnoVation from scouting. INnoVation has no idea about barracks timings, and he did not use a scan yet either, so INnoVation has to go off very, very little information. The only thing that he knew up until just now, where he scanned it and now he knows exactly what's up, is that there was no gas, but the gas was denied by his double Reaper, so yeah. And immediately he pushes out after he sees the build order that SpeCial has chosen.
Ooh, SpeCial's actually gonna use that reactor on the starport for now. I didn't know that was going to be the case. I thought we'd see another swap, but perhaps because he did get scanned, he's going to continue building as many Marines as he can. Oh my god, 2 tanks just one-shot those Reapers, or one-volleyed those Reapers, excuse me. And this little cliff is of course very, very annoying to hold. Luckily the stim is far to the right. The important structures are all very far to the right. Double turret is being landed. And we'll get a tank actually, which is very, very nice. What is the play here for SpeCial exactly? Is he just, he's either going to try to go around or he's going to flank with his Marines. But after the scan and the Marine over there, I doubt this is going to be a real drop, right? You need to be a big man to do that.
It should be a flank for sure, and I think he just waited for his stim to be done, and then he should go in with probably a tank that goes into the from the main. The siege tanks from the natural can also siege in the tank's location, and then go in at the same time with the Marines. Now he's trying to delay this as long as possible. He already lost one of his barracks for it, so he's just making sure that INnoVation can't rally, and now that he knows that this army can't be that big because, well, INnoVation simply hasn't F2'd forward, he can now try to finally break it.
Yeah, here comes the breaking move. The Ravens try to fly back, throw on a couple of turrets, but it's not the worst trades actually for INnoVation here, I have to admit. These 2 tanks, oh no, SpeCial. Ooh, I thought he was going to lose another tank for it, but definitely not the case. Turret, 3 extra Vikings in the main base. INnoVation supply is rocketing to 100 while SpeCial is plummeting. Even needs to pull the workers now. 2 tanks will join up. There's no anti-air for him, so needs to be so freaking careful right now. His SCVs are not working in the main base. Yes, his upgrades are faster, and sure, he might have. Well, does he actually have anything else that he's advantageous in? Not really, right?
It's mostly the upgrades. The Vikings in the main base, while SpeCial was trying to break it, cancelled the combat shields and almost killed an entire barracks, which needs to be repaired now. SpeCial also missed the repair on the extra reactor, so he needs to build a reactor on all of these barracks by themselves. Man, I really hope he repairs that barrack soon. It's kind of driving me a little bit crazy. Now he must have clicked the tech lab to start the combat shield, so I'm assuming one of the SCVs. Okay.
Yeah, there he is, the hero we need. He didn't start the fire, but he's definitely here to stop it. As I think Inno is going to once again move into a position where the tanks don't reach. A bit similar to what happened on Jagannatha against Time, and this will need to be. He'll need to go back, right? SpeCial will need to go to the other third base. There is no way he's holding this. It's just not possible.
Can he even lift? Can he even lift this CC right now? There's so many Vikings.
That's
It's
a good point.
it is very scary right now. He even made his own Vikings, which is not great for him. So now he lifts it, and he needs to waste a little bit more of the repair. Now he's stimming forward. The Marines go. Okay. Didn't go too far forward, only ate a single volley of those tanks. None of the Marines have died, but INnoVation at home already starting a 4th CC. And now is also finishing his 1-1, and especially did not continue the upgrade, so he's now not even, he doesn't even have that one advantage anymore, where INnoVation now also has stim and he even finished combat shields earlier, which is ridiculous considering the openings that we saw in this game.
Yeah, that is very, very sad indeed for SpeCial. He's looking to be in a rough position here. Sensor Tower will give him some information, and the fact that there's no medevacs yet means that it's going to be difficult for INnoVation to get into SpeCial's main base. That's the only way it would be over land, and I would not recommend running into 4 tanks to try and do that. Now that 2 medevacs have joined, perhaps there's an opportunity, but SpeCial is kind of ready for that, rallying everything in his main currently. INnoVation also keeping a fair amount of his units at home, and is actually going to probably try to regroup at this point. Regroup and then maybe look at a break on this faraway 3rd base.
Yeah, he is moving out now with the rest of his army, but he scanned that special at a bunch of medevacs at the top, so he already also has 4 turrets in his main base ready for this one drop, which, I mean, boost is good, but can you really boost past this?
SpeCial sure is going to try. No. Pokes his nose into the main base of INnoVation, says it smells, and leaves again. 2 Vikings here for SpeCial, not quite as powerful as 5 turrets. Tank on the high ground might get a couple of shots off here with that long range that it has. Another tank sieges up here for SpeCial. 1 tank moving a little bit too close, and good trade for INnoVation here. Gets 2 tanks, loses none. Also, of course, INnoVation still with that full-on vision here will be able to see absolutely everything. And how many scans are there for SpeCial? I think the answer is just not enough. The medevac drop does enter the main base of INnoVation, but he should have enough production. He has a bunch of Marines in the 3rd base as well, and I think SpeCial might just be losing this game. He can't really go for a break into this. I mean, he doesn't have more Marines here. He doesn't have the healing, and he can't just try to siege up into that. Like, this is not possible. We're once again seeing a couple of barracks go down. SpeCial's trying to secure his main base, but this is looking very, very dark for our Mexican Terran player.
Yeah, especially needs to go for a base threat. He realized it a while ago and started moving out. It would be great if he can keep the Liberators from joining up with the army, because then INnoVation can slowly siege forward with Vikings plus Liberators. But I'm not even sure if this is enough to beat the army that INnoVation has at home. And as long as INnoVation doesn't take that fight, okay, this is a good fight for SpeCial.
Yeah,
Needs to be a little bit careful, but there's a planetary at the 4th base, and INnoVation is just going back home to clear it up, playing it very, very safe.
Yeah, doesn't want to be tricked here after taking that pretty bad fight. Now, there's a lot of tanks actually left alone on the other side. No Vikings to protect it either, so these 8 Marines are going to be capable, most likely, to clear these 6 tanks. That's a good trade, but...
SpeCial's on 3 barracks right now. He is on 3 barracks production. He kept losing all the barracks in this game. INnoVation pretty much knows it's over. He's just F2A moving forward, and yeah, he doesn't even siege his units anymore, just even A moving with the Liberators and the tanks. And even though I think SpeCial had a good chance, I think that one early engagement where he lost the Raven and then couldn't quite clear up INnoVation, yeah, cost him the game here. And it's a tough loss for sure, because especially that 2nd game looked like it was going his way.
Yeah, tough little loss indeed, as INnoVation just drops straight into tank fire. He says, I don't care, I have so many Marines, you don't. GG gets called, and INnoVation wins his 2nd match in this group as well, going 2-0-4-1, while SpeCial is going 0-2-1-4.